how to use max-funded IUL, Indexed Universal Life, in estate planning. Now, this could get complex, but in this episode, I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to show you how I do this. I have trained thousands of CPAs and tax attorneys on how to maximize the estate while people are alive and then when they pass away by using properly structured max-funded IUL. And I'm going to be super simple here because so many people do not understand the power behind using IUL for people who have a lot of assets. They have a lot of net worth, but it doesn't matter if your net worth is $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, or $1 billion. I've helped all of those people maximize what they generate during the rest of their life tax-free. And at the end of the day, when they pass away, I maximize what they leave behind. So get ready. I'm going to show you how to explain this in a simple way. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and a retirement planning specialist, but also an estate planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets and minimize taxes, not only during their accumulation years, but especially during their golden years with proper estate planning. Now, if you've watched very many episodes on this channel, you will begin to learn that my favorite financial vehicle, without question, for all kinds of financial goals is a properly structured, max-funded IUL, Indexed Universal Life. And when you do that, it is deemed a laser fund. Laser is an acronym. It's the title of my book, The Laser Fund. Laser means liquid assets, safely earning returns. During your golden years, for those who have large estates, you want to maintain liquidity, safety of principal and safety of the money in an institution, and you want to earn a predictable rate of return, and I prefer totally tax-free. I can't believe how many people with large estates do not understand this because their advisors do not understand how to structure their estate so that their money is predominantly tax-free, okay? So let's go into this, and I'm going to simplify it by using one of my favorite metaphors, a financial Swiss Army knife. Now, IUL is like this financial Swiss Army knife. It has several different functions, and it actually can become the dream solution for all kinds of financial goals. Now, on this channel, a lot of people begin to realize that a properly structured max-funded IUL, a laser fund, knocks the socks off of putting money in a traditional IRA or 401k invested in the market. Absolutely, okay? In fact, when I teach advanced continuing education to CPAs and tax attorneys, I ask them, show me any other investment in America where your money accumulates tax-free. You can access that money income tax-free, and when you ultimately die, anything you leave behind blossoms, increases in value, and transfers income tax-free. I've yet to have any of them show me any financial instrument that does that. How does that do it? Well, under 3 sections of the code I teach about on this channel and in my book that I'll be happy to gift you at the end of this episode, under sections 72E, 7702, and 101A of the Internal Revenue Code. When I quote those sections, I can't believe how many estate planning attorneys get a deer in the headlight look. And I'm going, you're missing out. Your clients are missing out, okay? Now, before I get into the estate planning, which is the topic of this episode, see, property structured max-funded IUL knocks the socks off of traditional IRAs or 401ks or Roth IRAs or 401ks. It's way better than a 529 college savings plan if you're saving money for your kids or grandkids' college savings, okay, with way more flexibility. For business owners, for working capital, incredible instrument. Many savvy business owners use it as a working capital account to become their own banker, and so do real estate investors. I have many clients who are multimillionaires and billionaires, and they use IUL as their working capital account. To keep earning money tax-free, even if their real estate goes down in value, they can just take out a portion of the interest and make their mortgage payments, okay? All of these concepts are taught in my book. Lump sum capital transfer, when you get a lump sum, a settlement, or maybe a death benefit. A death benefit is tax-free, Keep it tax-free by putting it back into a max-funded insurance contract. General tax reduction, where we help thousands of Americans get money rolled out of their IRAs or 401ks, not rolled over, rolled out. The tax is over and done with sooner than later, and then have it be tax-free from that point forward. We double, triple, and even quadruple people's retirement income by getting their money out of those IRAs and 401ks strategically. Pension maximization. Those are for people, school teachers, police officers, firefighters, how to maximize your pension by not taking the survivor benefit option when you retire, which is what most people are duped into doing. You use IUL, okay? But all of these emergency funds, okay? A lot of people keep an emergency fund in a bank or credit union, and until I show them where does the bank or credit union put 30 to 40% of the money you put there. In insurance companies, earning usually 3 to 5 times what they're paying you in interest. Why not just bypass the middleman and put your money into the institution that the banks and credit unions are putting your money, okay? And increase the safety usually by 6 notches to AAA instead of some of these banks that are only rated BBB, and increase the return by 3 to 5 times, okay? Well, let's go to the estate planning. How does this work in estate planning? Let's keep it simple. Many times I've sat down with very high net worth individuals. When I say high net worth, okay, it doesn't matter if the value of the estate, the assets are 5 million, 50 million, 500 million, 5 billion, okay? If you want to maximize and protect what's in the estate, I know of no other instrument that does it better than max-funded IUL. Now, I am shocked how many estate planners have their clients' assets out there in a portfolio that's only returning 4, 5, or 6%, and it's taxable. Oh my heavens, that's pathetic. It's not even keeping up with the true rate of inflation. Now, the reason why I like a max-funded IUL is because you're taking the least amount of insurance the IRS will let you get away with, and you're putting in the most money because you're doing it for tax-free growth and tax-free income. When you do it properly and you rebalance every year, once a year at a minimum, you rebalance based upon what's going on in the economy, and you diversify. Our clients average 11 to 14% gross. Let's take the lowest, 11, and you'll net 10, okay? So let's just simplify this. You can net 10% tax-free after all costs and all fees. I would rather earn 11 and net 10 than have to earn 15% in a stock portfolio or a mutual fund portfolio and pay tax of a third of that money to net 10. I don't have to earn 15 to net 10. I can earn 11 and net 10. Does that make sense? So, if I have every $1 million in a portfolio of laser funds in my estate, and if it's earning, let's say, a 10% return, it'll just compound at 10%. 10 into the rule of 72 means it's going to double every 7.2 years. But if it's generating income and it's totally tax-free, which it is, every $1 million, you can extrapolate from this if you have 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, or whatever. Every $1 million, I could generate 100,000 a year of tax-free income. Now, the first thing I ask people, you have your money over here, and it's earning 6% with your estate manager, okay? It's earning 6%, but you have to pay tax on that. In your tax bracket, 33% tax bracket, you're only netting 4. And I simply said, why would you generate a 4% net income? Every million only generates 40,000 a year of income after tax, when you could generate 100,000 a year. See, this isn't a little bit better, it's more than double. But frankly, there's a lot of estates that are only really earning maybe 4.5%, and after tax, they're netting 3. Why would you generate 3% after tax income when you could generate 9 or 10? How much more is 9 than 3? Don't say 6. It's on every million, it's generating 90,000 instead of 30,000. Okay, so let's simplify this. Many times I'll sit down, and once they understand this, I'll say, you can increase the liquidity of this money if you need it for something. The safety, because when the market crashes, you don't lose. You may not make much of anything when the market crashes, but you don't lose. Most estates have their money in the market and you lose. You don't lose, and every time the market goes up, you make money. They go, really? I've never heard of this before. Well, they've been watching the wrong channels on YouTube maybe, okay? Or they haven't read the right books. I've done this for thousands of people, high net worth people. So let's simplify what I just said. I sit down, and once they understand this, I go, so do you see how a property structure max funded IUL can generate 9 or 10% payouts? So if you got 90,000 out of every million, and you've got an estate worth 50 million, do the math. But let's just simplify it. Why would you generate a 3% payout or a 4% net after-tax payout? Why would you generate X, okay, 40,000 out of every $1 million in your estate? Why would you generate 40,000 a year or 30,000 a year when you could generate 90 to 100,000 a year? The rest of your life, why would you generate X amount of income when you could generate twice or 3 times that? 3X. And they go, well, what do we give up on the back end when we pass away? You don't give up anything. It's not a choice. You have both. You can have your cake and eat it too. So why would you generate X, 30,000 of income when you could generate 90,000 for every million in your estate? And, not or, at the end of the day, when you pass away, why would you leave behind, 5 million, or let's say the estate's 50 million? Why would you leave behind 50 million to your heirs or your estate in your trust? Why would you leave behind 50,000 in these investments that are taxable when you could leave behind double that, 100 million? How does that work? Because with property structured IUL, when you die, whatever you leave behind blossoms. It increases in value, and it's tax-free when it transfers. Okay? If I died tomorrow in an accident, every million that I might have in a portfolio of IULs would pay out about double that to 2 million. People say, how much does that cost? Well, nothing's free, but it doesn't cost me anything. It's being paid for with a minuscule portion of money that would otherwise go out the window in unnecessary tax. If I had my money in traditional investments, I have to earn 15 to net 10. It's that 1/3 of your interest. It's 5. You give up 1/3 of your interest, 5%. I have to earn 15 to net 10. With IUL, I only have to earn 11 to net 10. The other 4%, okay, it's being paid for out of just a minuscule portion of that. And so I simplify and I say, let's think about it logically. Okay, why would you generate on every $1 million in your estate, 30 or 40,000 a year of income, when you could generate 80, 90, 100,000 or more a year of tax-free income? And when you ultimately pass away, why would you leave behind for every million, just $1 million, when you could leave behind maybe double that, 2 million? If it doesn't cost you anything. So why would you leave behind, why would you leave behind X when you could leave behind double or triple X? Why would you generate X when you could generate double or triple X? It's that simple, folks. And people say, wow, that sounds too good to be true. No, it isn't. Max funded IUL for estate planning will maximize your income and growth. If you're growing the estate, or if you're taking income out for charitable purposes or for your family, your kids, your grandkids, college education, whatever, why would you generate 100,000 when you could generate 300,000? And at the end of the day, why would you leave behind $1 million when you could generate and leave behind 2 million totally tax-free? It's that simple. So folks, if you want to see how this works, I would strongly recommend that you watch other episodes on my channel. But you can learn in my book, The Laser Fund, okay? And this retails on Amazon for between $20 to $60. If you buy this on Amazon, thank you. But I'll give you a copy free. All you need to do is go to laserfund.com or click on the link below, and you can get a copy of this 300-page book. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling, okay? I require a little bit of skin in the game. And so you contribute towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that, and I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. Now, while you're in there claiming your free copy, if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, there's formats that you can invest in for that. And if you want to attend an educational webinar, you can register for one of those. We teach them weekly. They're free. You can even schedule an appointment online to talk to an IUL specialist, one of the top 13 out of 5,000 I've trained that are the creme de la creme. And you can pick their brain with no cost or obligation on how a properly structured IUL can help you in your estate planning. And you're going to be blown away, okay? The book, 300 pages. It's actually 2 books in one. This side, 200 pages, 14 chapters with charts and graphs for the left brain learner. If you're a right brain learner, you learn more by stories and examples. You flip it over to this one, about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories. You can use your whole brain. You can use your left brain and your right brain and read both books. But this is not about me. This is about you and your brighter future.